Sean, boy. Sean.
Brother
What's going
Sean in
on?
the building. Clark
What's up?
Brothers here on the IE Network. We are back for another Clark Brothers reactions and breakdown. And we are have now taken a full trip, and we are now heading down full speed into the Ren rabbit hole. And we are now on song number 4. If you we're gonna put down in the description, you've seen that we reacted to. We went a little backwards because we didn't really know what was gonna happen.
Mm.
So we
Yeah.
started off with Money Game 3. We
Mm-hmm.
then came back with High Ren, and then we hit you up with Money Game 2. We're gonna put those descriptions down low in the description box. But now we are taking the directions, and we are letting the renegades lead us. And the director is gonna let y'all know what we are going to do today.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've been taking all of the advice of the Renegade crew. Shout out to the Renegades.
That's the renegades
You know,
around the world,
they've
man.
been very very accepting of our reactions, which is cool. Never really. This is probably the only fandom I've encountered that was actually like pleasant.
Right. A pleasant fandom. All the other
Yeah,
fandoms and our
they're
comments
yeah,
be letting us have it, cursing
letting
us
us
out and
down,
everything else.
calling us names, all types of stuff. But
Yeah.
they I don't know. But yeah. So thanks to y'all's advice and we votes. And we will be doing the tale of Jenny and Screech. That's what it's called, the tale
Yeah.
of Jenny and Screech.
Tale of Jenny and Screech, the
So
13-minute video, like all of you suggested.
the 13-minute video version, yeah. So I mean, we're not like I said, we don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about it.
Nothing.
But I don't really care to know anything. I mean, I care to know, but I don't care that I don't know because I like finding out stuff with Ren. This has been a very good ride so far. This guy, I said in the last video, this guy is he's just different. He's just something different.
Right.
Very, very. I'm interested, and people say that this is more storytelling. So
Mm.
let's, I'm ready to get into it and go from there.
All right. So, without further ado, we are going to be checking out Ren and the Tale
Hmm.
of Jenny and Screech, 13-minute video. Let's go.
This has got to be like the third different sound this guy has made
Right.
sound good
Right. With his mouth.
with his mouth. He his whole mouth is an instrument
Right.
itself, which is very interesting.
Crazy.
Okay, cool.
It was a quiet dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone, she was dragging her feet. She was heading back home to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, because she walked it about 1,000 times before. She wanted to escape. Can you blame? Well, on the very same night, in a different place, there walked this hooded young youth by the name of James. He was 14 years old and out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the
So I'm just gonna bring it back a little bit. He said 14 years old. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys.
Okay.
In a different place, there was this hooded young youth by the name of James. He was 14 years old and out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the street. His mates called him Screech. He was quick on his feet. He was a liar, a thief. At 14 years old, the devil had set his sights on his soul. As Jenny walked home all alone, she felt scared. Usually she was alright, but it was like there was something in the air. A divine intervention telling her to beware. Maybe intuition bugging her and making her so scared. Sirens sound in the distance to the beat of Jenny's feet. A symphony of the night that echoes crime on London streets. Jenny turns a corner, their eyes they meet. Up or go Jenny, a boy named Screech. Give me all your money, bitch, give it to me. If you
Oh
cooperate, then
damn.
you'll soon be free. I want your purse, your phone, don't fucking look at me. I mean it, bitch, are you listening to me? Jenny freezes statue like a lady shakes stalactite. Feel like liquid nitrogen in the dark night. She tried to find strength to move, but stayed as still as a statue in high-heeled shoes. What the hell you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to fucking God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it, though? You don't know me. The last thing you see will be a boy code. Screech reached with the sheath, with the blade, with the teeth that could bite through steel and slice concrete. And he swung possessed with the devil in his chest, and the statue she was turned to butter in her breath. It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny lay still on the cold concrete. She's found somewhere to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, 'cause she'd walked it about 1,000 times before. I guess that she escaped. It's such a shame.
I shall stop it. That is
That's part
part
one.
one, I believe. And
Hmm.
now, uh, we go- uh, I
Okay.
know it showed that it's three different parts in the one song. So okay, so it looks like Jenny she's from this town. It's in London City. She knows the town. That a lot of people would probably say, "Well, why is she walking by herself?" But she knows
Knows the
this town.
town. It's familiar.
She's walked this road.
Yeah.
What's say 1,000 times before,
Yeah.
right?
Familiar. Yep. Yep.
And so she
That's
said
what I'm telling
because
you.
she knew this town. She knew this floor, meaning she knows this route, right?
Yeah.
She walked it 1,000 times before. She wanted to escape. Can you blame? Right? So then he says, well, on the very same night in a different place, there walked this hooded blonde youth by the name of James, and James is Screech, that's his street name or what have you.
Yep.
14 years old and out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys. So he's basically high,
Yeah.
right? Out of his brain. He's been smoking ganja with the boys, so he's been smoking and he's high. So he's not in his right. Out of his brain means really,
Not in his right
not
mind.
in his right mind, right?
Right. It
So
could mean that. It could also mean. I mean, we got to dig deeper. Ren. It seems like Ren kind of always sticks to the mental health stuff. So I don't know if out of his brain is meaning
that could be a
something like
double
that too.
entendre.
Could be a double entendre there.
Hmm.
Out of his brain. Yeah, and obviously he encounters her or she encounters him in the alleyway or whatever. And I mean, it's something he said at the end that is kind of deep. He said the first he said that she stood still like a statue or something like that. He was saying,
Yeah,
meaning, so
we'll get down to that part.
that's a metaphor. Well, earlier he said it too about her, like a statue or whatever. That's
Okay.
I believe that's obviously a metaphor of her. Like when you're scared, you're frozen. You're like you're still
Right,
like a statue, right?
like a statue. Um, Here is a question. Like we're knowing that she's from the town, right? Now where he says, well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, that's area, right? Because she's walked it about 1,000 times before.
Mm.
Could that be alluding that she is a streetwalker, aka a hooker, a
It's
prostitute?
possible. It's possible. It's possible.
She walked. You know how they say they walked the strip, or
Yeah.
women walk the strip. She walked it a thousand
Mm.
times before, or it could just mean she's coming home from work, or
Yeah. She
it's
always
every
does
day,
that route. Yeah, she knows that route. It's a routine for her. It
right?
could be a routine. So it could be either way. I guess we'll probably have to dig deeper to find out more, but it could mean anything else. I mean, it could mean the same or, double entendre.
So yeah, so the part you're speaking on was I mean it. B, are you listening to me? Jenny
Yeah.
freezes statue like a lady shaped statue like. So that's like you're scared, right?
Yeah, she was frozen. She was
Scared,
frozen in
stone,
fear.
solid scared.
In
Like,
fear. She
oh,
was in
got
fear.
you, got you.
Yep.
And also he also says, I swear to effing God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks.
Rosy cheeks.
Right. So that's pretty
That,
much
that
the red,
Yeah,
right?
the red cheeks, rosy cheeks, which could be alluding. He doesn't mention what time of year that is. It could be cold outside. A lot of time,
Right,
if you're fair skin, you white. You get
right,
the rosy cheeks when it gets cold out, stuff like that.
right.
But yeah, the rosy cheeks. That's a old saying, right? Red
Yeah.
rosy cheeks. Yeah,
So
it's pretty
man, so
violent.
then when he
so
goes to
it,
the six, he says it was a quiet. He goes back, and this is kind of what he did in Money Game 3, when he kind of like reverted back to, let me tell you a story about a
yeah,
boy named Jimmy.
right, right.
When he kind of like reverted back, it kind of like came full circle. So he said it was
No,
a quiet,
notice
dark
that
night.
a boy named Jimmy. Is that a name that rings with him? This guy's name is James. All right, this
Right.
guy's name is James. Jimmy is. I'm not saying they're the same person, but I'm just saying that might be a lot of people. Like Ren is a storyteller,
Mm-hmm.
so he's a filmmaker. He's a lot of times we do that too. We
Yeah.
we kind of stay with the same names, even if
Mm-hmm.
it's a different character, right? So I just noticed that a boy named Jimmy, but this kid's name, even though they call him Screech, his
Is
name is
James, and
James.
Jimmy's
J-
is another name
Jimmy
for James.
Jimmy is a short for James,
Right.
and not saying it's connected, but this guy has all types of Easter eggs in his stuff. But it's
Right.
obvious that I just want to say it's obvious that we haven't figured out Jenny yet, but obviously James, if he's out of his brain, but he has violent tendencies. Obviously, because it says that he's threatening to slice the rosy off her cheeks.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty.
he's only 14 years old. So
Yeah, he's only 14, and it says he swung he swung possessed with the devil in his chest.
mm,
So he
took a
stabbed her.
swing at her.
He
Oh,
stabbed her. It says
yeah,
and
and he
the
swung. Right, and he
and it
swung
says here in the statue that she was turned to butter
butter
in a breath.
and a bread.
So she was
Sliced her. You
she
slice butter.
you sliced it. You slice butter. So
Hmm.
the statue, meaning her frozen in fear, she kind of melted when
Right.
the knife hit her.
Screech
So
reached for the
that
shape
tells
of the
me
blade with
he
his
stabbed
teeth.
her or he
Right.
cut her.
That's what it looks like to me. Screech reached for the sheath of the blade with the teeth that could bite through steel and slice concrete, and he swung, possessed with the devil in his chest, and the
Mm.
statue that she was turned to butter and a breath. And then he goes back to, it was a quiet, dark night on
Mm.
empty streets somewhere in London City.
Where you
Jenny laid
going with
still
this?
on the cold concrete. I'm getting chills. Jenny
Yeah.
laid still on the cold concrete. She found somewhere to sleep. So she's down on the ground.
Oh man, found
She's
somewhere
down
to
on the
sleep.
ground.
She
Uh,
dead?
well, she she knew this town. She knew this town. She knew
New
this
past
floor.
tense.
Yeah, because she'd walked it about 1,000 times before.
Mhm.
I guess that she escaped. It's such a
Mm.
shame. So
I'm wondering,
wow,
man, where are we going with this, Ren? Did we lose Jenny already? It's the first song.
no way.
It's the first video. Did we lose already? He's speaking of her in the past tense.
Past
She
tense.
knew
So
this town.
right.
All right, I don't want to dig too deep in it and overthink it, but it's what it sounds like to me.
Let's keep
So
it
we'll go.
going.
Let's keep it moving. Here's the next one, I guess. Ren is nice on that guitar.
Word. Screech's tail.
Screech. Yeah.
Our story, it starts right at the end. At the life of poor Jenny, clocked out like Big Ben. Dear
Oh,
Screech, dear boy, where did he go? He melted into the black night just like snow. Patrick, man, let me in, please open the door. I think I fucked up, Patrick, really fucked up, man, I'm not sure. I got crazy, left this lady lying still on the floor. I think I killed her, Patrick, come on, man, I can't knock no more. But Screech kept on knocking till his knuckles became sore. But there's no sign of Patrick down at number 54. No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away. Hey, babe, are you in? Now, nothing really, I'm just a bit tired, listen. Can I swing around yours for a few moments? I just really miss you, babe. What the fuck do you mean you're busy? You fucking bitch! For fuck's sakes!
so now it looks like he's acting it out. Maybe
Yeah.
has he just become Screech with on that phone call? Because he's just it seems like he's acting it out. Let's do
Right.
this theatrics all day.
Yeah. He's well again, he's now after this has happened, now he's starting to panic. He's looking for somewhere. He's calling up his
Somewhere he
friend
can go.
Patrick,
Yeah,
right? Patrick, and he's
didn't
calling
answer.
him. He's not answering. Now I guess he tried to call a girlfriend or something like that. She said she's busy, and he's going off on her.
Getting
You can tell
desperate.
these guys got anger issues,
Yeah,
and so we're gonna see what happens after that because obviously Jenny is from the looks of it, she's dead, or he
he's
left her
dead.
there for dead. We don't know
Yeah,
whether
maybe
she
she's
is dead
not.
or not, but she left her there for dead. So let's go.
Damn,
Ooh.
we lost the journey already. Shit. All right.
Siren sounds approaching like a banshee in the
Oh,
night. The shrill cry of justice cutting like the sharpest knife. But Screech was never one to run, not one to miss a fight. One hand upon his blade, he turned to face the blue lights. Come on then, you fucking cunts, let's fucking have you then. I am Screech, I'm the boss, I'm the ender of men. You think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech. Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest.
Jeez.
Police thought he was the shit, going at that
That's
cop.
three, four. That
Mm.
was four shots he just did. And then the drop then the camera dropped. Wait, so
Wow. What?
you heard that? Boom, boom, boom. He did four things on the
Yeah.
guitar. That's supposed to be the shots. And then you saw the camera fall.
Right.
Like he was like, um,
So
okay.
the police come. Screech is saying, "I'm not running. He's never wanted to run. You think that that uniform you're wearing means you own the streets, right? These are my
Yeah,
effing streets. They call me effing Screech." Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd
yeah.
see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets, as Screech says. So you want to come acting like a wild man? Well, I'm gonna
Mm,
I'm gonna react
yeah.
to how you react to a wild man.
So
So
is this the end, or is he gonna say something else?
we're gonna see.
Our story it ends
There he goes back again.
right at the start. Young Screech and poor Jenny lying one street apart.
Mm.
An
One street apart.
officer shaken by the boy that he claimed. Two bodies lay lifeless, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame.
Okay.
All right, so stop it there. That
Okay.
was so
Yeah.
we heard Jenny's tale,
Yep.
right? Now we heard Screech's tale. So now it looks like they're both
They're both dead.
unalived,
Yeah,
right?
lying one street apart,
One one street
one block
apart.
away from each other. And you notice he said, he goes back and says our story ends at the start instead of our story starts at the end,
Right.
which is kind of interesting that he did that.
And when he started, he said our story starts
Starts at the
right at
end.
the end, right?
Yeah,
And now he said our story ends right at the start. I'm sure as we go along, we're going to figure out what he meant by. I'm sure all of this will connect in the end, because
yeah,
he's got another. I'm going to assume it's another part because it's still a lot left to the video. The video's 13 minutes long, so he's still got more left. So we're gonna go on. We've heard Jenny's tale. We've heard Screech's tale. Now they're one block apart. Whew.
I still
I
don't
got
know what to
chills.
make.
I got
I
chills
don't know.
with the Jenny thing.
I still don't know what to make of all of this, but I mean, it's obvious that, like we said, they whatever this encounter was, he kills her, or at least we think he does. Then he tries to flee, tries to find somewhere refuge,
Right.
doesn't find it. So then it's obvious, like I said, Ren always kind of seems to talk about mental health and stuff. This kid he ain't just high. Something he's got violent
Right.
tendencies. He's got some sort of mental health situation going on because he decided to just challenge the police. And
Right.
I ain't running. Yeah, I ain't running. And he never ran from a fight. So that tells you right there he's a troublemaker, or
Yeah. I'm troublemaker.
something like that. Because he said he never ran from a fight or something like that. So
Right.
yeah, all right. I'm anxious to
Hmm.
see what's going on next. Here we go.
I was gonna tie this all
Bear
together.
with us. Bear with us, guys. We're just trying to figure this out. That's cool right there. Cool effect. Camera falls. Ooh,
Right.
okay.
Violent.
Vi-
Who's she?
Violence. That's nice. I just want to say this real quick. I noticed a lot of the renegades. They've in our comments they say that he's self-taught and all this other stuff. The self-taught ones are the ones that are more dangerous than all of them.
Right, right.
On the guitar, look at Prince. You know
Prince,
what I mean?
yeah,
So Prince is a self-taught. He was a self-taught musician as well, but they're not afraid to try stuff because they're not like they didn't have the classic training. So you know what I'm saying? There's no
right,
rules for them to break, so to speak. You know what I
right.
mean?
And he
So it's
said
like,
self-taught on the piano as well. So just
right,
like Prince,
exactly. Well,
so
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like me. A little
right,
self shameless plug. Our
right,
mother, God rest her soul, she was a classically trained pianist.
right.
She could read, write music, and play
Yeah.
it, no problem. Yeah, I didn't have time for all that. So I just played by ear, But the thing with self-taught or whatever, or play by ear, whatever you want to call it, there's no rules. You don't have any rules to break because you don't know the rules. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mommy had to, when she switched from classic music to gospel and stuff like that, there were certain rules she had to, follow or whatever. But I just wanted
Yeah,
to point that
yeah.
out. That's
That's
right.
crazy. You never took lessons, right? You
Nah,
never took piano or nothing,
nah, I just sat on the piano next to mommy.
right? And was you self-taught? You were self-taught with drums too, right?
Yeah,
You never had drum lessons, right?
no, yeah, I was a drummer, guys. Just let you know. I haven't played drums in a long time. I ain't in drum shape no more, but I am a drummer. But
Right.
yeah, but yeah, self-taught and things like that. We don't, you know, there's no rules to follow. We kind of make up our own rules. So that's why he's not afraid to try new things.
Right.
So that's why you're gonna see some stuff with him. I wanted to say that. Fourth time, he did something different with his voice.
Right.
Sorry, guys. This sounds very daunting. Like it sounds very
Right. It sounds like it's about to
haunting.
get dark. And he
Yeah.
is a master of like we said in the other video, his music, right, can
Hmm.
can change scenes for you. Like you don't have to be looking at a dark night or a dark rainy night. He lets you know what the scene is changing by the music, by the way the piano's playing, by the way his vocals on a guitar. I mean, just unbelievable, unbelievable stuff, man.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Why is this setting a hospital?
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beats and bloodstains, she saw a lady weep, she's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale.
Okay, so we going back.
He rewind. He plays like the rewind music.
He did like rewind. Yeah, exactly. Like it's almost like he played the tune backwards.
Backwards.
Um. Okay, so we rewinding. Are we rewinding to 2005? Is that what he said?
That's what it looks like. He
2005.
said 2005, so that's what
All
it
right.
looks like.
Let's go. Let's go.
Violet was a silent girl, grew up with violent starts. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. I'll spare you with the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew. Violet was a silent girl, she moved out at 16. A semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme. Packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet she fell fast. See, Stevie was a wrong un, but he sure knew how to charm her. Every night he took her tight but never left the room. History repeats itself, he paint her black and blue and dark.
Wow.
She never.
Okay, I want to stop there. So you said history repeats itself because she obviously comes from a violent. She came from a violent home because he said something
Right.
about her mother and father. I think the father or whatever, right? Is that
Right.
what
Yeah.
what he's talking
So
about? And now she met somebody, and he said history repeats itself. So this guy is abusing her now.
she met a boy named Stevie, and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl, and Violet she fell fast. And Violet she fell fast. See Stevie.
Fell fast for
So
him.
so she was a silent girl. I mean, she was quite shy,
Yeah,
right?
and
See,
she fell
Stevie was
fast.
a wrong un, but he sure knew how to charm her. So he was like
Yeah,
a bad boy,
bad boy. Yeah,
right? And but he
but he
knew
charmed.
how to throw on
All
the charm. Every
all
night
good
he tuck
girls
her
love
tight,
bad boys.
right? Every night he tuck her tight, but never left the room. History repeats itself. He paint her black and blue and dark. So I guess that's like history repeats itself. That's kind of like he physically
He's
harassed her like a father, right?
like a father did.
Painting her
Yeah,
black and blue is like
yeah,
beating her up,
beating her up.
pretty
Yeah.
much,
Hmm.
right? Because you bruises,
That's
you get black
history
and blue.
repeats itself. Yeah. Wow, this is dark. This is very dark. Um, and unfortunately, we've done some work uh, with uh, domestic violence,
Hmm.
victims and survivors. I'll say survivors, and this is a trend that happens when it's something that's so deeply rooted. Um, as you can see, she was abused, and the first guy that she kind of fell for was an abuser.
Was an abuser. Yep,
You
and
know,
that
and
tends to happen a lot. It tends to happen. They can't break the cycle.
it's very, very deep, very deep. We have a couple of projects out there. Shout out to Jamela, she's a singer. We did that, that DM
Music video,
violence.
but matter of fact, we'll leave that um video in the description box.
Yeah,
Like, you got to check it out. It was domestic violence. It was a
awareness.
video
Yeah,
for domestic violence awareness. So y'all
yeah,
can check that out. And we'll leave
yeah.
that video description
We'll leave that video there.
description box.
Okay, cool. Let's go. I just wanted to. Whoa. And I still don't want to know who Violet is, but we know it. We're getting to know her now.
Right.
Never stood a chance.
Facts.
History repeats itself, he paint her black and blue and dark. She never stood a chance. The devil comes to dance.
Mm.
Violet, why are you always so quiet? On her bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, he's up late. And he stands by her bedside, she shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, why are you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fists when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood splat, bone crack, knick knack, paddy whack, one to the jaw and the tooth spat, detached, fist connects and disconnects a bone. A quick deflect to misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you always so silent, Violet? Why you such a little liar, Violet? Do you think I want to do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Well, say something, Violet! Silence. Fucking say something, Violet! Silence.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Wait. Say something, Violet.
Oh, no. Come
Not
on.
one word. She stays quiet.
I hope we didn't, you know.
All right.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The
Okay, back
doctor,
to the top.
in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins are lying side by side.
No.
A girl
No.
named Jenny
Oh.
and a boy named Screech.
No way. Wait a second. Get the. All right.
Whoa.
Wow. Wait a second. So, wow. Oh man. I gotta process it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I got. I might have to
holy
bring. We might have to bring back that.
no. I'm telling you right now. He j- so Jenny and Screech.
Bring it back. Bring back the third verse. I have to hear that again.
Deep down in Paddington, baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in.
Bring it
As
back to like
Violet's world turned to black.
Huh?
London City, far from pretty. I gotta start from there. Right there. This is crazy.
I know what it is too. Just
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins are lying side by side. A girl named Jenny and a boy named Screech.
that's crazy. That's like wow. Okay, so obviously Jenny and Screech, Violet is their mother,
Right.
and the tragedy or a miracle, yeah, it's both. It was a miracle because they were born twins, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
she died.
she
Obviously,
died
she
at
died
birth, at
and given at
childbirth,
birth. Right.
because she was beaten too much, and she died giving birth. And the tragedy, that's the miracle, but the tragedy is her two twins ended up killing each other. Well, one killed the other,
One killed the other,
and
and
then killed
because
himself, basically
right,
death by cop.
and basically because they were probably beaten as she was beaten so much in pregnancy that they were kind of like born into violence.
Born into violence, and we said that um, Screech had the violent tendencies, just like his
Hmm.
father. Now that you
Right,
think about it, right?
right,
Um, Jenny, who was, quiet and walked this, she seemed to have taken on the personality of her mother,
right.
quiet, stuff like that. Um, wow. So, I mean, it's obvious that these two twins, they didn't know they were twins, obviously. So maybe they were separated, because uh, the mother died and the father, I don't know, the father, who knows what happened to him. I may
Right.
have to go back and look at the lyrics and see what happened to him, but they must have been like either like wards of the state or whatever. Like maybe they were separated when they were
So
born.
I'm back with verse one. It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone. Let me turn my mic on. Jenny walked alone. She was dragging her feet. She was heading back home to sleep. So she was heading back home, right? Well, she knew this town. She knew this floor because she'd walked it about 1,000 times before. She wanted to escape. Can you blame? She wanted to escape. Can you blame her too? Well, on this very same night in a different place, there walked this
Yeah,
hooded blonde
it's
youth.
you might have been right. You might have been right. She might have became a streetwalker
Right,
because now we know they didn't have no parents.
right.
So she might have became
A
a
streetwalker.
streetwalker. That's why the street is familiar to her because she does
Right.
it all the time. She walked
And
it a
and and
thousand
and
times.
and and the whole 14-year-old and out of his brain, well, his mother was beaten, probably kicked in the stomach, everything when he was still in her,
Hmm.
still in her belly. So,
Hmm.
of course, it could mean, yeah, he said, James, he grew up to be a kid of the street,
Yes.
right? So his mates called him Screech. He was quick on his feet. He was a liar, a thief, taking on what his father was, probably. At
Yeah.
14 years old, the devil had set his sights on his soul. So he was an evil kid,
Hmm.
right? Um,
Yeah.
as Jenny walked home all alone, she felt scared.
Yeah.
Usually she was all right, but it was like there was something in the air. So she felt something not right. I mean, her
Yeah.
twin is
Yep.
pretty
And
much coming to
everyone
kill
else.
her. They they,
So
they feel and they feel that way.
they
It's been
feel it.
said,
Yep.
the twins can
Twins.
feel each other.
Yeah. They can feel each other. There's a certain there's a certain thing. It's spiritual when it comes to twins. I knew a set of twins. You dated a twin once
Hmm.
before. You know what I mean? In the
Yeah,
back in the day, and I know. Yeah, they. I don't know if we have any twins in our family, but anyway, there's a spiritual thing. I went to school with twins. Kamal, Kareem, shout out to them. You know, it's a spiritual thing. So, yeah, that's crazy, man. So it's obvious that the mother died. She was brought to the hospital because she was beaten to death, basically. So it's safe to assume the father probably went to jail
right.
because if that they have to report stuff like that. Even if he I don't know if he brought her to the hospital or not. Probably because he she wasn't responsive in the house. So they probably arrested him. So the father was in jail. The mother is passed away. So they might have separated. They obviously separated the twins.
They have to separate because he's telling her, or because remember, he's telling her, don't effing look at me. Now, did he know this was his sister, but she just didn't know it was him, or maybe they just separated and don't know each other?
Maybe they don't know
Um,
each other. Yeah.
I mean it. B, are you listening to me? And then in verse 5, he says, what the hell are you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to effing God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it? Girl, you don't know me. The last thing you will see, a boy called Screech reach for the sheet of the blade with the teeth
Hmm.
that could bite through steel and slice concrete. So it's a big knife, what have you. And he swung possessed with the devil in his chest and statue, and stabbed her
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah, I'm gonna assume from them saying she walked it 1,000 times before, she had became a streetwalker, and
Yeah.
he's a street. As they said, he became a kid of the street, right? And he said, "I want your money." So if she's a streetwalker, she probably has money,
It has cash on her. Yeah.
right? So
Damn, man. Yo, like, first of all, this is a movie. Like, Randy,
right, this is a
you should have
movie.
turned this into a movie.
This is a
That's
movie.
number one. This would have been a dope movie because if you
Yeah,
wait to the end, imagine that being the twist at the end that they're
at the
actually
end,
twins,
that would be
and
crazy.
and he killed her. Yo, Ren's a beast, bro. First of all, when he was that last verse, he was going in, man. But it was very violent. I look at the words than what he was saying.
Yeah, it
Um,
was violent, but he was showing off his skills as a rapper.
yeah, yeah,
At
yeah.
that
That
point,
last
this is
verse,
where this is really the first song where I can hear, yeah, he's a rapper.
yeah, he can spit. He
Yeah,
spit.
he
Yeah,
can
forget
spit.
about it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's real. This is a kind of a lot to unpack. I'm trying to keep it brief, but um, okay, like we said, it's obviously. I guess the moral of the story is generational trauma. You know what I mean?
Generational trauma. Yeah.
That's got to be the moral of the story. Generational trauma,
Trauma. If
which we
you if
just
you
talked about. We said that
project
that
trauma
happened.
onto your partner, that can project onto your children, even though they're not there at that very moment to feel it. They
And
still feel it,
yep,
when they're in their mother's stomach. They can feel just like how they say, you play music to kids and they can actually
talk
hear it. Well, they
talk
can
to
hear
the
all those things. They can hear the violence. They can
voice. They
they
can hear the
right. They
voices,
can
the
hear those
violence,
things. So
and they can feel the pain. They can feel the hits. Um, with my youngest daughter, I used to talk to my I used to talk to my wife's stomach. Right to her mama's belly. Right.
right,
You talk to your kid, and they know your voice. And when they come out, the first thing they hear is your voice, and they feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So when it's the reverse, they hear the violence. You know what I mean? And obvious that Screech had his father's violent tendencies. Uh, the mother, his mother or their mother,
Violet,
came
right,
from Violet came from violent uh, background. Um, yeah, it's generational trauma. That's got to be the moral of the story, right? And it's real. Generational trauma is real, and it happens all the time. I've seen it so many times just when we started doing our work, advocating for, against domestic violence, right?
mm-hmm,
Um, and you see it, man. When we went to Safe House Orlando, heard some heartbreaking stories from these women, and sometimes they can't get away from these their abusers. And it's not just women;
right,
it's men. being abused by women. It's women being abused by other women. Like it's
Hmm.
such a big thing. It's way bigger than what everybody knows. So generational trauma is real, man. Ren, to touch on this was I mean everything he does is bold though, right? He's obviously
Right.
he writes his own ticket. He
He,
go, you
he
know, he
he's unlike and I tell people I know that what do young kids call it, glazing. I know the young kids might think I'm glazing, but I've never seen an artist like this guy.
yeah,
Never. I'm trying to think back. Everybody knows that we together are probably the biggest Prince fans. And I'm gonna say this is probably all around the most talented artist I've seen, probably since Prince. I mean, when you
I
talk about all around, he can play instruments, and we don't even know what else he can play. We
yeah,
just seen the guitar and the piano. We
yeah.
don't know what else this guy can play.
You know, it's a good play, and I mean, it's just like I said, it's amazing, and his that story was crazy. That should have been a movie. I'm sorry, that should have been a movie.
So
Randy
hopefully,
should
man,
have been
hopefully you're turning it into a movie.
heard the movie.
But I tell
Let
you
us
right now,
direct it.
that would be an amazing journey. We can direct it for you if you want.
It's right for you. What you star in it?
Right. You wrote it. You can star in it. Let the Clark
No,
brothers
that's.
direct it for you. I mean, this was
I mean,
crazy.
that was a great story. Thank you, Renegades, for recommending this one next. We jumped
Wow.
over the other ones to get to this one,
Right.
and this was a doozy. I'm sorry, this is kind of a long reaction, but this was a doozy, man. You guys let us know if we're on the right track, man. You know, I know you guys understand Ren a little better than we do. Obviously,
Right.
we're still learning him. Um, but I believe that's what that whole thing came from. I think the moral story is generational trauma, and it's real. It
I think
happens,
so too.
and you just see in the result of generational trauma from, he just kind of told the story backwards,
Right.
basically. He started at the end, which what he
Amazing.
said before, right? Our story starts at the
Starting
end.
at the end. Amazing.
You know what I'm
Amazing. When
saying?
you think
So,
of, man, I tell you, man, we are so
and
excited to continue on this ride because
yeah,
we don't
yeah.
know what to expect anymore, and we like it like that.
And I'm wondering, the last thing I'm wondering with the numbers is when did this come out? I would like to know, um, because he says 2005,
Hmm.
right? So if you tack 14 years onto 2005, you get what, 2019?
2019. Well,
Is
he
that
was
when this?
14. Well, this,
Is that when it came out?
let's see. Let's see if it came out in 19.
It better
I know
not.
the. This man's a goat.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, have to look it
no, it
up.
was released on 2022.
It was
Now,
released 2022.
yeah, it was released
That was when the video
2022.
was released. I
Yeah,
wonder
so
when. Maybe
right,
Renegades can tell us when was the song released. Was it
right.
song released in 2019? Is it like a real time thing where he went 14 years back? Because I'm just wondering that number, that
Right. He had
2005.
him definitely. Knowing him,
It means something. He's
it
like
means
one of them.
something. It means
Yeah,
something.
he's a writer, so he's almost like a dramatic writer. Like you don't put things in for nothing. Like everything means something. 2005. They're 14 years old. These are the numbers that he keeps repeating. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So y'all let us know. Let us know in the comments, man, what y'all thought about that. Let us know if we're right. If the song came out in 2019, he's the GOAT. That's all I got.
Oh shoot!
Anyway.
If the
Oh
song did
man,
come
that
out
was good.
2019, the way he's going right now, he might still be the goat.
It's still the GOAT. Yeah. No, that was crazy, man. I can't wait to the next one. What we doing next? So now we're gonna jump back on the money game too, right?
Right, we'll probably do Money Game 2 next, or we're gonna let the Renegades tell us, like, do we finish up Money Game 2, or where do we go next from here? Y'all be the direct. Y'all direct us, director, and the co-director. Y'all let us know what's the next step, man. We
Hey,
thank
I can't
all the
be a good
renegades. Thank
director.
everybody, man. Ren,
Yeah.
amazing
Amazing. Good
storyteller,
work,
man.
man. Good work. I said, hey, I can't be a director if I don't know if I can't be directed. So you guys direct
All
us
right.
on what to do next. And yeah, that's it, man. We'll get back at you next time. Thank you for everyone in advance for watching this, and we'll be back. Clock Brothers, have West.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.